Hi guys, this is Dr. Sadashivam once again with you. TCS Tata Consultancy Services had announced their results yesterday and they had announced an EBITDA margin of approximately 25%, revenues of approximately $6 billion dollars and net profit of approximately $1.2 billion dollars and EBITDA margin of approximately 25%, which is absolutely a very stunning performance. But many stock market analysts said that their expectations were a lot more than that. So we will talk about unfolding yet another chapter in this tech transformation, because this company had gone extremely long way in this particular opening this chapter, and we will look at what Rajesh Gopinathan, who is the MD and CEO of TCS, and Ganapathy Subramaniam, who is the Chief Operating Officer and Executive Director of TCS. Let's see what they have to say. And some of these key details and points were taken from various vernacular papers and CNBC, etc. So they have posed excellent results. And for investors, in fact, I have also invested in Tata Consultancy Services because I very strongly feel that this is the company of the future, and they keep changing their course, and it's been one of the most successful companies not just in India but across the world we are talking about. So let's look at what their CEO and managing directors have to say on the future outlook of this company, how the journey in the last 1 year has been, and some of the future plans they have, one of which largely is their foray into consulting space, and not a kind of a disruptive one, but it's more in terms of leveraging their existing strengths that they have, and a large amount of inventory of skills, especially from the contextual side of the business, by being in tech development of software for a very long time. So they have lots and lots of interesting things to say. I'm not an IT expert, but some of the points that I heard from this interview are extremely interesting, guys, and they provide provide insights in terms of how the IT industry functions, and I would like to share some of those salient points in this video. Now, Rajesh Gopinathan feels that cloud will continue to be a technology which will play a very important role in technical transformation. So though he feels that cloud has been existing for quite some time in the industry, the enterprise adoption is concerned, a lot more needs to be done, and the downstream implications of such a structural change is only going to become more and more complex and more interesting. With these latest development in the enterprise adoption, the adoption of cloud, the conviction is getting only stronger and stronger day by day, and some of these results announced yesterday have already proved that. So the adoption is already taking place and needs to be accelerated to a very large scale, and the company is already working, keeping four important pillars. He talks about security, stability, reliability, and agility. These are four pillars on the basis of which they will be taking this adoption to the next level, and they will also be accelerating that in order to provide the expected value proposition to its customers, because these days infrastructure as a service is being provided by many companies, and TCS, as we all know, has been leveraging its native capabilities, especially in the area of cloud, which has been developed in the last 1 decade or so. In fact, things are changing fast, the business models are changing, customers' way of working has changed, especially in the light of COVID during the last year, and they are more and more futuristic in terms of how they will be running their businesses. So people are very confident that while these businesses keep changing, the other software companies, their ability to adapt to the changing circumstances is also growing day by day. Of course, the pace of change, of course, will vary depending on the industry, depending on the region, and depending on the specific customer requirements, right? So little bit of shifts in the architecture is inevitable because they keep changing continuously as the situation changes. But TCS, in Rajesh Gopinathan's opinion, they are very well poised in no uncertain terms to surmount these kind of changes. So as far as India is concerned, India is performing extremely well, and so is most of the emerging markets outside India. But the second wave of COVID, certain things are coming to light, and we are seeing some of the news in which even the Olympics do not have enough spectators. You saw that news yesterday. So we have not come out of the COVID situation completely, and that's a very clear statement Rajesh Gopinathan has made. So as far as TCS approach in this kind of a situation is concerned, he clearly feels that the focus needs to be in terms of what is available at the present moment. You need to stay vigilant in terms of how things will pan out, especially in the post-COVID atmosphere and what is yet to come. One thing is very clear, pandemic is not over. So he feels rather than sitting and keeping worrying about what will happen, it is important that the companies need to take a proactive approach, right? So if you look at some of their initiatives, he talks about SWS, which is secure, borderless workspaces, or some kind of a 25 by 25 vision that TCS has laid out for its employees for the next 3 or 4 years. So typically, if you look at this concept of SBWS, secured borderless workspaces, absolutely this is an indication how much TCS is changing with the changing times, especially after this post-COVID, after this COVID working atmosphere with people working from homes, right? So this is going to be a game changer. So pragmatically, if you look at it, these are the kind of changes one can expect, and these companies need to adapt to these changes. And one more initiative apart from this 25 by 25 vision is also focus on the HR part of it, and that's where the company is going in for a tremendous drive as far as the vaccination is concerned. Now with all this, TCS is set for another trend-setting history, not just in India, but throughout the world, including your operations. As we know, they have huge operations in North America. As a society, North America has seen that focus on the well-being of people probably lifts the companies from losses to profits, but also from an economic perspective, it serves the larger interests of the nation as a whole. So the well-being of employees means the well-being of the nation. It is important not just from the company's perspective, also from the nation's development perspective, and that is what Rajesh Gopinathan firmly believes, and he talks a lot about those things, and things need to move forward in that direction. So at the same time, the company has emphasized on the business side and also on the costing side, because things are not as rosy as people would want them to be, and there could be some headwinds suddenly, certain unexpected things, and therefore in order to mitigate such things, every day people need to think out of the box, people need to think creatively. All that is very important to ensure that the company stays at the top of the pack. Now, as far as some processes laid out, along with the friend, our CEO Ganapathy Subramaniam, right? He talks about a lot of other processes. I'm not an IT expert, but certain things like robotic process operation, they talk a lot about it. So building these kind of robotic operations, routine area of applications and maintenance, they need to be discarded. So it can be seen from both the sides. It can be seen as a threat, or it can be seen as an opportunity to grow for the IT industry. But all said and done, RBIA, which is robotic process operation, right? I came across this particular term when I came through this interview. I don't know the head or tail of what it is, but this is what most of this automation, your chat bots and all that, they work on this because they eliminate the need for any kind of human intervention at that stage, and that is a very good step towards automation. But that's not just everything, but that's the first step. So we need to look at it from a long-term perspective. Its ability to cater to the future needs of the industry is what we need to look at. And the next thing is to convert your RBO scripts into algorithms, and then you need to look at how you can bring up economies of scales. Will you be able to enhance its benefits to customers? And these are some of the questions that come to our mind, and this is the kind of reality that artificial intelligence brings to the corporate world, especially as far as the IT industry is concerned. So we need to take lots and lots of steps to move on with this and take care and leverage the existing strengths, and see how TCS will be able to survive the headwinds, because TCS has not done these kind of things. Everything is at an inception stage, especially as far as AI and your consulting, etc., all are concerned. So these 40 to 50% of what TCS is doing can be done through these proxies, and that's the level of automation that is happening, and that's the level of R&D that is taking place. These are words of Ganapathy Subramaniam, and he is extremely confident. He has been in the industry for a long time, and he's a veteran in the industry, and he feels that more than 40 to 50%, which is done by human beings, this large part of this human intervention can be eliminated through this, right? This could be a technology disruptor, but the value proposition that it comes with it is enormous. But as far as the nature of business, as far as TCS is concerned, to a large extent, is tech development, but they are now getting into the consulting industry, right? In the last two or 3 years, they have been doing it in bits and pieces. Both Ganapathy Subramaniam and Gopinathan, they elaborate extensively in terms of why and how TCS is getting into consulting business. Obviously, we all know that software technical is what is their core business, but both of them give various reasons, various examples of what they have done. Very interesting case studies from some part of North America, right? So that's fairly an evolved business. We're talking about the consulting business that TCS probably is taking on right now. So they are moving in various industries because in the CEO's, managing directors' words, they have a huge inventory of knowledge which has been acquired over the years by being in the field. And that's some kind of a contextual knowledge, right, developed over the years. And so far, both of them feel, both Ganapathy Subramaniam as well as Gopinathan, they feel that they have not been able to leverage, TCS has not been able to leverage, and it was traditionally left to the other consulting companies. For example, they talk about a project they were doing for a medical company in North America. They didn't mention the name of that company. So typically when you talk about maintaining a medical system for North America, and this particular company acquired another cosmetic company which is in the cosmetic pharma space. So that is also medical systems, that is also pharma broadly speaking, but this is cosmetic pharma. Now after this merger, some kind of an integration was necessary, right? So while there are lots and lots of commonalities between these two, because this is also pharmaceutical, that is also pharmaceutical, the company acquired is also pharma, but the difference, it is cosmetic pharma, not medical pharma. So while there are so many commonalities in terms of manufacturing, your sourcing, etc., but they were largely different in terms of customer management, your supply chain, and even the target customers are different. If you look at cosmetic pharma, it's mostly ladies, and I hope you understand the target group. So traditionally, if you had operated on the old model, right, TCS might have to sit back till such time the processes were laid out by some other consulting company which was in this particular space, and because once those things were done with the consulting company, and then due diligence, etc. After 8 months or 1 year for TCS to take the tech side of the business. So in the middle there is a vacuum, right? You lose touch with customers, and there are other business implications you business guys can understand. So why should TCS sit back when they have such a huge inventory, contextual level skills available within the company, right, acquired over the years? So why should another consulting company come and do this? Why not leverage their own capabilities and suggest that to the customer? So that was one out of the box thinking. So in fact, I'm also not an expert on the IT industry, but as a management trainer, I can understand that this is something that can be taken as a case study in my training workshop. Prepare a case study, and I'm very eager to release another video in terms of how this can be applied to other companies, not necessarily TCS or software, but automotive, retail, telecom, other industries, because companies which have acquired large amount of inventory skill inventory by being in the field for a long time, like Maruti Udyog for example, and how they can be leveraged. Okay, that's different. Now coming back to this, they had a conversation, TCS had a conversation with the pharmaceutical management company. Both Gopinathan and Ganapathy Subramaniam thought, why sit back till the process laid out by some other company, consulting company? So they wanted to move into this space which was traditionally a domain of some consulting company in which TCS had not ventured or participated before. So what they did was, when these discussions about integration was happening with the customer, typically the day one planning as far as the software planning is concerned, so they started discussing with customers in terms of how the post merger scenario will be, how synergies can be built up, and then they found that they have so much of consulting knowledge by proactively speaking to customers, leveraging their existing skills, and not on a hearsay or a casual basis, but a very structured and organized manner, right? So much of contextual knowledge is available, but somewhere it has not been leveraged because of various circumstances. So they sat with the customers, provided value added services rather than just giving IT solutions, because right from phase one you understand the whole thing a lot better, so you will be able to do the tech development job with lot more efficiency, right? So this will be the future models for these companies, and they will be able to provide much value added services to the customer. So in the words of Ganapathy Subramaniam, the next thing would be to establish customer relationship that will protect their future businesses and participate in the customer's journey, in the successful customer's success journey. That is what is important. So this will be a possible operating model, and that will continue to be their strategy in the days to come. And these are some of the things that they had expressed, TCS, in the coming years. And they talk about the stability margin concept. The margins have to be very, very stable for the company to provide real value to their stakeholders, including investors, right? They have various verticals: BFSI, retail, media, healthcare, pharmacy, and each of these verticals, they have been doing all these company consulting was being done by other industries, and now TCS will start moving into that space of consulting. You cannot call it a disruptor at this point in time, but over a period of time it has become necessary for the customers to reach out to the consulting space, and they've already been successful in case of a few companies, right? They've already been successful, and this is something like inside out, reaching out to the consulting space, right? They are moving in that direction. So as far as the margins of this company is concerned, now the employees, there have been two pay hikes recently. Employees are getting very good salaries. Now the question is, will TCS will pass on the costs to their customers, etc., right? So one needs to look at, in Gopinathan's words, there are two ways of looking at pricing. One is your cost plus pricing model mechanism, and the second one is you need to look at what kind of a value you offer to your customers and price it accordingly, and how much customer is willing to pay for it. That is one thing which is very important in this industry, because a stable, predictable pricing model is required. There may be tactical gains and losses in the short term, but that's not important. That's not what Gopinathan looks at in the short term, how much profits they make, quarter, month, etc. They are tactical gains. But you need to look at the environment in which you operate, and he very strongly believes that in spite of the salary increase given to its employees, the future outlook is going to be extremely stable, right? So of course this will continue, but with an upward bias, keeping in mind the inflation. That will be the pricing strategy. So as far as the environment is concerned, there is a multi-tech cycle which is happening. So whenever you talk about these technical cycles, they normally happen once in 10 years, and nobody can exactly calculate the duration of these cycles. There are three horizons which Gopinathan talks about. The horizon one is where TCS is, especially as far as the price adoption of cloud is concerned, especially with this whole process accelerating in a never before experienced speed. And the horizon two is where these enterprises use their own leverage in order to meet added requirements that may be required in the industry in future. So we cannot say that the entire industry will move from 1 to 2, 2 to 3. There could be some early adopters, and all said and done, the ecosystem plays a very, very important role broadly in the IT industry in terms of how the other things. I will explain to you what is the S curve, because TCS is following S curve right now. I don't want to waste time on explaining S curve now. As far as TCS is concerned, TCS is in the high growth phase in the S curve. So when large scale adoption of cloud is taking place as a service adoption, and you have other jobs of migration of workload to other systems, TCS is well poised to take advantage of this, and specific times are being planned, and probably he reserves it for a future interview, in my opinion. Now the tech cycles, if you talk generally, they last for around 10 years, as we have already discussed, and based on that you can lay broad roadmaps based on that. But these are more of conceptual stuff. But as far as the measurement of success is concerned, you need to look at volume growth and the margin growth. Growth not at the cost of margins, but growth has to go up along with the margins also. That's what they talk about. And the second important indicator is to look at customers' portfolios, not just the portfolios, but how TCS has seen revenues across all the verticals. That is only possible if TCS continues to provide relevant offerings to its customers. For example, if you look at the last quarter, their number of customers in the 100 million fold has gone up tremendously, significantly. So all these revenue streams have grown across all the verticals. So if you look at the best metric for success of any company, it is the customer's portfolio and how well the company is performing across all its vertical, not one vertical at the cost of other. So one indicator he talks about, TCS has already touched its pre-COVID levels, and that itself is extremely good. And one of the strategies will be to continue on increasing the value addition to customers, and then staying focused on their areas of interest, areas of progress. So it's a multi-growth cycle. The confidence is being reinforced to a much greater degree both by Gopinathan as well as Ganapathy Subramaniam, and TCS is poised to take advantage of the whole thing. And how well TCS has expanded its horizon goes on to show how much they are serious in terms of growing their business, also to provide the right value customers to their customers, and also provide money to their shareholders. They are on the next level of growth, and in my opinion it is a very good company to invest. I hope guys you liked this presentation, and these are based on TCS CEO Gopinathan and Ganapathy Subramaniam. We are very eager to hear your comments on this. Do put your comments in the comments column. and I would like to go through them personally and reply to you wherever there is a need. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. This is Dr. Sadashivam signing off till we meet again. Bye bye. Jai Hind.